They own every Apple device available, and the dad is addicted to Words with Friends. The mom cannot stop checking her Instagram feed on her iPhone. Ethan is a 10-year-old boy who would go to bed with his iPad every night if his parents let him. Come to our presentation to learn more about the apps that we created to help families like the Andersons find more value and meaning in their lives.
How many emails do you have in your inbox? How many emails do you send each day? Who are those emails to? Over the years, how many emails have you sent to the people most important to you? Your email archive can uncover trends in your email behavior, as well as uncover moments and memories from your life. Possibly love letters from the woman who would become your wife, pictures from your daughter's karate tournament, emails anticipating a big vacation, or a hilarious email chain between your college friends. How often do you go back and review those memories? Delorean Mail is an innovative take on email visualization. Our infographic surfaces both high-level trends in your email behavior with your closest contacts, as well as uncovers specific memories. Behind me, you can see a static version of our infographic. Come back here, room 210 at 5:35 to learn more.
Project name is IdeaBuilder, formerly known as Flow Through Creativities. But while our name has changed, our idea has not. If you're a student, your project dictates the success of your academic career. You never want to forget that brilliant idea you came up with. So capture them with your iPhone, map the locations, and snap a picture of your inspirations with the applications. Then retrieve your ideas by either image, location, or text search. But if you're not a student, why would you care? So imagine yourself planning for a wedding. You have lots of traveling, sharing information, providing, receiving feedback. IdeaBuilder is an app just for that. So you can make the best possible decision as a group. So to conclude, I just want to leave with this. Friends don't let friends idea alone. Our team is Alex and DH, and we are in this room, 605.
Years ago, a friend of mine asked me to help her mom, who was 65 at the time, to figure out how much money she was going to be able to live on during retirement. So I said yes, and the three of us, my friend, her mom, and me, sat down over a weekend. We went through all of her paperwork, and we figured out how much money she was going to have coming in through Social Security and through her retirement accounts, and how much money was going to go out based on her rent, her medical expenses, and other bills. And at the end of the weekend, we had bad news. Basically, she was going to end up penniless unless one of her kids stepped up to help her out. So this got me thinking, how did a 65-year-old German literature professor end up penniless at retirement? And her story inspired me and Darya to work on GirlFunds. If you are interested in knowing what it takes to retire with a healthy bank account, come to this room at 6:45 and we'll tell you all about it.
Navigating an educational experience through augmenting your reality or near. We're all familiar with using smartphones to be able to access augmented reality, and we're probably also familiar with situated learning or learning from physical context. This project combines both of these, augmented reality as well as situated learning, and we're trying to come up with a meaningful way to learn new items.
An expert views at a physical location differently. He views it from a different point of view. Our challenge is how can we invite learners to explore that particular physical location from an expert's point of view. And we want to use, we plan to use mobile augmented reality to do that.
Come to our talk at 7:15 in this room to learn more about our solution and our design process and our technical challenges and solutions. to hear Deepak, Marianne, and myself, Leslie Tong, advised by Kimiko Ryokai, who also does research in mobile augmented realities.
So, this is Ram, it's Chulki, and I'm Walter. We're a project called Grepvine, and what we've done is spent the entire semester building an application from the ground up. We started out with an idea. We'll tell you about the entire process later, and we ended up with an application. You'll see that there's an article on the page about Google Goggles, but what we've created is the browser extension on the right side of the page that allows you to find related articles and related content that's relevant to the article you're reading right now. And anything else you want to tell about? No, that's it. Go online. That's 45
We are presenting MoaWorks, a new crowdsourcing platform. Businesses today face large amounts of data and problems that are associated with the web, and they want to create new products and new platforms. E-commerce platforms, for instance, need to process large amounts of complicated data, of messy data that is unstructured, and where computers cannot make sense out of it. There has been a new concept that tries to tackle this problem, and that is called crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is the idea to break up big projects into smaller chunks of tasks, each of which takes maybe a second or a few seconds up to a minute. And it sends out these small chunks to an online community of people who work on these tasks and send it back to the customer. There are problems associated with this notion. The quality needs to be checked whether the answers are correct. You need to make sure that the project that you send out is completed to its full extent, and you need to figure out how much is it worth to you, and how much is and what is fair to pay to these to the people who work on the projects. The current solution on the market is broken. We have developed a new service that has the premise of providing human intelligence in the cloud, enabling software and businesses to tap into the potential of crowdsourcing and to develop new services around it. We do that with a couple of technological and social needs, and we're happy to present this at 5 o'clock and 2:05 to you. Okay.
One of the recent hot topics in the information world is using social media to get meaningful insights out of it. But the challenge is how. We are Koye and Sagar, the Ecolytics group. Our project is a feasibility experiment of using social media data in order to understand how the public thinks and express themselves in Twitterverse about corporate social and environmental responsibility. We use data mining, natural language processing, and data visualization techniques in order to collect, organize, classify, analyze, and visualize our findings. Come to room 205 at 5:35 p.m. and we're going to walk you through our methodology and share our findings and the challenges that we face during this experiment. Thank you.
It's not as sexy as the ones before, but that's what it is. Sustainable impact at the bottom of the pyramid. The bottom of the pyramid is defined as people who are living on less than $2 a day. There's a huge market potential in this segment, untapped largely, mostly because nobody knows how to target the segment in a way that benefits both the consumers and the corporations that are involved. Partly also because it constitutes majorly of people who are illiterate, who lack the basic sense and judgment when it comes to making decisions, especially with regards to economics. Two of the most important research questions that we are addressing here is how can a corporation develop a sound strategy to creatively serve the BOP population while making a profit. So this is not just targeting the BOP and not making a profit, you're talking about profits and economy here. How can a corporation evaluate the long-term visibility and the impact of a BOP initiative? That's the second question we are addressing. Mostly we're doing this also, this is one of the case studies that we're going to talk about, which is the eChopar case study. eChopar is basically an ITC kiosk, which provides information to farmers with regards to weather farming best practices and all of the important information that can help them customize their crops, please stop by and listen to us with our findings. All right, thanks.
Hi, I'm Ariel, and this is Paul, and we're working on Utopia. We know that agriculture drives economic development around the world. And so we're building and creating tools to help agricultural producers improve their operations and strengthen their livelihoods. So I want you guys to all join us at 6:45 in room 205 to learn about what we've been working on over the past year and all the players it takes to get coffee from a farmer in her field to your cup here in Berkeley.
I'm Karen Rustad.
I'm Rowan McDonald.
And for our project, we decided to tackle the problem of legal research. Exciting, I know. So if you're not familiar with legal research practices today, it doesn't look like pen and paper and large, heavy books that much anymore. But it's not quite online and digital either. And the main reason for that is the legal citation format that's in use today. Right now, when a court first publishes a decision, even that court doesn't know what the citation for that case, its unique identifier, is going to be. It only gets a citation when a private company, Westlaw, publishes this case in a bound physical book and releases that to, and sells that. So, this is kind of absurd. Why are we making our citation format based on physical objects? Well, it's kind of a big payday for Westlaw because them and their partners, LexisNexis, are able to charge ridiculous amounts of money for their suite of legal research tools. So expensive, like hundreds of dollars for a single search query expensive. Or so expensive, if you have a subscription with Westlaw, you have to sign an NDA that you can't say how much you're paying for. It costs that much, which is absurd. We need access, public, free access to the case law in a democracy for citizens to know how they're governed, to have access to how these laws are interpreted. And so we built a free legal research tool called a citator. Despite all these citation information organization system problems, in order to try to provide that access and build a tool that others can build upon and add more features later. So come to our talk. It's in 205 at 7:10, I believe. And check it out to learn how we did it.
Hello, I'm Rami. This is Day, and we are Team Memorycloud. We are tackling the problem of online memories. So we identified two problems. The first problem is that there are so many different platforms that people can share their most cherished memories. The other problem is that a cherished memory of a wedding, for example, can be displayed beside a news of a catastrophe somewhere around the world, or a rather distasteful meme. This causes the fragmentation of the narrative and ultimately losing the picture, the bigger picture. So if you want to find out how we tackle this problem, join us at 5:05 at room 202. Thank you.
Hi, I think everyone here is familiar with Pixar's movies. I think there are fewer people here probably that are familiar with their software. And I wonder why that is. Probably because it's top secret and proprietary. So my project, BusyBee, is a data collection system used for informing the software quality team on the quality of their animation software. Their animation software is kind of the unsung hero behind the success of their movies, and I hope by this application, improving the software quality will, as a result, help Pixar make even more awesome movies. So join me in 202 at 5:30. I'm Iris Chung, and my advisor is Kimiko.
Hello. This is not our slide. This is our slide. Hello. We're looking at website design and how organizations can improve their website to meet their organization's goals. Currently, people are doing this using a technique called A/B testing. whereby you try out thousands of variations of a site to ultimately find the one that is the best for your organization. But if you can try out thousands of variations, where do you start? So we looked at the theories from behavioral economics to provide you and your organization with suggestions of things that you should be looking at to improve on your website. Which experiments can you start with, and which experiments will have the biggest impact? So, if you're feeling thirsty for more information about this project, come to room 202 at 6 o'clock.
So we listen to syndicated broadcasts all the time. We listen to them in our cars, we listen to them at home, and increasingly we listen to them via web-based services. But these broadcasts, syndicated and otherwise, those 6-minute pieces that you listen to amount to a mere fraction of the archival audio collections of independent producers like the Kitchen Sisters. We've been working with the Kitchen Sisters for the better part of a year now on our master's project. Other than these broadcast pieces that we hear on the radio, they've recorded thousands of hours of sound, but they have no systems for digitally preserving or providing access to that sound. And so as a result, their work has never been shared with anyone, really, even though lots of people have played significant roles in the creation of their work and are interested in reusing it. Nikki Silva, one of the Kitchen Sisters, has said that having an online archive system would make it possible for them to do in 5 minutes, make it possible for them to do in 5 minutes what they consider impossible today. And why is it impossible? It's because you may not be surprised to hear that producers of public media lack resources. They also lack technologists and archivists, and they lack an understanding about how you organize these things and make sense out of them. So without an easy-to-implement archive system, producers and their listeners are hindered in their ability to do these things, and as a result, we risk losing irreplaceable artifacts. So we set out to fix this problem. Pop-Up Radio Archive is a protector, an organizer, an exhibitor, and an advocate for producers' content. It's a free open source archive system. It stores simply and provides easy access to content. So that means meaningful description and conformance with industry standards too. The Kitchen Sisters are already using our system. Their sound files are seamlessly uploaded if at their request to SoundCloud and or the Internet Archive for permanent preservation and also sharing with the public. So this isn't just a demo that's going to drop on the floor when we graduate. We built this system to work for the people who really need it. Come see us in 202 at 6 Berkeley.
Hey everyone, I'm Karen McGlynn. My final project was with Code for America. And Code for America is a nonprofit organization that sends small multidisciplinary teams that are shaped by the culture of Silicon Valley. It sends them to work with city governments. And my final project was working with them in the design and development of a new platform called the Brigade. So the Brigade is a platform for Code for America to engage with the growing number of civic hackers, as they're called, who are interested in volunteering to transform civic life through applying their tech skills. We built a web application to connect those scattered people to one another, to coordinate their efforts on some open source app projects, and to create a central hub where this growing national movement can remain connected to Code for America's ongoing efforts. So if that interests you, see me, room 202 at 7:15. Thanks.
Hello there. We're Brendan and myself, Angel. We've been working on a project called Game Voucher, and we're really interested in the mobile gaming market. The mobile gaming market is going to be worth $5 billion this year, and we believe that there's a lot of information-related problems that we can tackle on. So, what does it take for your game to become a successful game? We believe that's a wow factor. All of you are familiar with this game. This game is Draw Something, and it basically exploits the theory of collaboration and also challenging to actually make this game even better. It's not about engineering, it's not about marketing, it's about involving people in the same challenge, in the same social event. So if social matters so much, how come that most of them out there are not social yet? Well, we believe that is because game developers do not want to focus right now on extra layers. All they care about is making their game great, and that's where we come in. We're going to provide them with a layer. We have designed and implemented a layer that they can use to make their game social and increase their user base interaction.
Absolutely. So how do we do that? We build a native Android application and an accompanying API that integrates with an existing standalone game that allows game developers to access our system. And the system really focuses on this idea of challenging your friends. So to learn more about it, we're going to be in room 202, 745. I challenge you to be there.